What's up, guys? Wanted to make a video today about drilling and the importance of drilling. It's crazy that in 2023 that we still have to make a video telling people how important it is to drill techniques, because I think deep down everyone understands, like anybody who does martial arts, wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, whatever the martial art is, they understand how important drilling is, even if they don't want to do it. And a lot of them don't do it. A lot of people don't enjoy drilling and still drill because they're disciplined and they know what it takes to get to a high level. So they know that that's a must, right? But I feel like a lot of people don't. A lot of people realize it, but it's almost like they just can't do it. Their mind, they get bored too easy. I get it. It's boring, guys. It can be boring. It's routine. But the best fighters in the world become the best fighters in the world because they drill every day. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's been boxing for 40 years and still throws a jab every practice. Still throws a right hand every practice. It's the constant repetition of these moves over and over is what makes you a world-class fighter and being able to execute these at the highest levels. I see everybody every year on Instagram or Facebook, somebody's posting that Bruce Lee quote of, I think it's, "I don't fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks, but the man who practices one kick 10,000 times." I've seen that quote off and on for years now, but very few people practice it. I would go as far as to saying that it doesn't take no 10 years to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Or at least to get to that level. Obviously, you getting a black belt is dependent on who your coach is and how fast they promote you or they don't. But that time could be cut in half for your skill set. You can get to a black belt level skill set if you're willing to drill enough. Honestly, if you're willing to drill, I mean, my jiu-jitsu coach, Master Lloyd, has proved that with a lot of his students that have become world champions. My good friend DJ Jackson became a no-gi black belt world champion with only 5 years of training and beat all the other black belts in the world at no-gi with 5 years of jiu-jitsu training. He had a wrestling background, but he wasn't a D1, All-American or national champion. He was just a junior college wrestler and was able to come in and basically beat all the black belts in his division within five years because of drilling. Drilling is that important. People just don't understand how much you need to drill, and I think, like for jiu-jitsu, it takes that long. That's why it takes so long to become a black belt, is because people want to learn 3 or 4 moves every day. They want to learn a different move, a bunch of new moves every day, instead of repeatedly drilling the same techniques. Same thing in striking, guys. When I went to Holland back in 2014, we did 1, 2, 3 low kick every single practice. Constant jab, low kick, opposite hand, opposite foot, just constant throwing hands, hand combinations, finishing with kicks. And we would do the same kicks over and over and the same hand combinations over and over. And that's why the Dutch are some of the best in the world at kickboxing. It really is repetition. There's only so many moves you can get good at, and there's only so much time that you have to get good at these moves. So I really do stress to young fighters to learn how to fall in love with drilling. And you're probably not going to like it at first. And even when you do eventually if you do something enough, I do feel like you will develop a love for it. But at some point, you're still going to get burned out. But if you learn the concept of drilling and getting but it has to be drilled the right way. The techniques have to be drilled the right way. You can't, if it's shit technique, you're screwed. If your coach teaches mediocre shit technique and you're drilling mediocre shit technique, you're going to be in trouble. So that's definitely important. But just the constant repetition of these techniques in martial arts, no matter what you do, I think no matter what sport you play, what combat sports you do, wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, karate, whatever, it's constant repetitions. I think a lot of times in MMA, that's why wrestlers do so well in the grappling department. Is obviously a lot of people think wrestling is the dominant force in MMA, and wrestling does dictate where the fight is. But wrestlers are forced to drill. They're one of the few martial arts I know that are forced to drill. Like, you come in and you basically are a wrestler over the season may learn 20 or 30 moves and only drill those whole 20 or 30 moves for the entire 3 or 4 month season. And then even in the off season, depending on what they're doing, they're probably drilling the same moves. or they may be adding stuff, but they're still drilling those core moves. So you'll have wrestlers. I remember in 2012 when I was on the Ultimate Fighter reality show, one of our wrestling coaches was a guy named Shannon Slack, and he was a 2008 Olympic wrestler. And he said, I remember him telling me, he said, I made it to the Olympics and only did 3 moves. But I mean, obviously he probably knew hundreds of moves, but basically those are the 3 moves that he got so good at that he was able to go to the Olympics with. Repetitions, kids, repetitions. I know everyone don't want to drill and it's boring, but if you want to get good at something fast, if you want to get good at any martial arts you do, it doesn't matter if it's karate, jiu-jitsu, boxing, pick 20 or 25 moves and drill those 20 or 25 moves for the next 3 years, and you'll be shocked how good you get. You'll be shocked how good your technique will be and how good of an understanding you'll have of those moves. 25 moves in whatever sport you learn. If it's boxing, you're gonna have to learn. You obviously, part of these moves need to be defense and not just offense. That's another issue, is a lot of people don't want to drill defense. They only want to drill offense as well. But make sure the technique is good and make sure you're getting the reps. And I challenge you guys, pick 25 to 30, definitely no more than 30. No more than 30 moves in whatever discipline you're doing in combat sports, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, whatever. Pick 30 moves and drill just those 30 moves for the next 3 years, and you'll be shocked how good you are.